but it's a pleasure for me to participate once again in this exciting effort to bring Fairleigh Dickinson University and the United Nations closer together in an effort towards mutual enrichment of both the institutions. It's a pleasure also for me to have the honor of introducing one of the truly unusual ambassadors at the United Nations. There are, as you know, 189 ambassadors at the UN. Few among them have managed to distinguish themselves as players. Most of them are golf players. Even fewer have achieved the distinction of being elegant in thought and manners and in their thinking processes. Even fewer have built up a reputation for intellectual honesty and candidness. And among that handful who have crossed these three steps, I can think of only two who have consistently, through the years, managed to dress wearing just bow ties and never to wear anything but a bow tie. And out of the two, only one has managed to achieve the versatility of being an ambassador, a respected ambassador at that, a professor who has achieved distinction in teaching at universities in Spain, of being an author of a book which is a trend-setting manual on diplomatic protocol, and above all, quite apart from all this, of having the versatility, the unique versatility for any ambassador anywhere in the world, of being the Director General, or of having been the Director General of the finest soccer team in the world. Ambassador Innicencio Arias has been the Director General of Real de Madrid, which is by far an institution far more important than most foreign offices, and certainly more important than being an ambassador to the United Nations. They are a penny a dozen. It gives me great pleasure, therefore, to introduce Ambassador Innicencio Arias, Chencho to his colleagues and friends, President of the European Union at the United Nations, and a person of truly great eminence and distinction. Ambassador Arias.
Good evening. I am very honored and delighted to be here. When my wife asked me, my wife is American, more or less American, where are you going? I said, I am going to a very nice university because Kamal is taking me there. And wherever Ambassador Kamal takes you is a good place. So I am delighted to be here in a university that has this fantastic idea of not only becoming an NGO related to the United Nations, but also of bringing here people who can talk about the world. After what my colleague Kamal said, as you can imagine, my ego is flying. He's really a good friend. The only real truth he said is that I am now currently the President of the European Union, and that my team is the best team in the world. The rest, he was extremely kind. Anyway, I will start by saying something about Spain and his position in the world, and then I will follow by, since Spain now has the presidency of the European Union. You know, the European Union is a political, economic, social club of 15 members. The presidency rotates every 6 months, and this month, all over the world, we have it. Spain has it. And I will say something about the European Union and the United States, the relationship, and the way Europeans look at the United States, at the biggest power on earth. I will start by saying something about my country, about Spain. Traveling around the United States, I have discovered two things about Spain in the United States. The first one is that Spain is an unknown entity in the United States. Here people don't know what Spain is, what we represent, which role we have played in the world, and quite often not even where Spain is. Sometimes people ask me, we are limiting with Colombia or with Bolivia. It's not exactly where we are in the world. And the second thing that I have discovered traveling in the States is that we have not a bad image, because we don't have an image here actually. We have a mediocre image in the United States. The image people have about my country, when they have it, is somewhat distorted, confused, and full of stereotypes. So I will say something about my country. Spain is the third biggest country in Europe, physically speaking, I mean, not economically. We come after Russia and France. We have, there are 40.5 million Spaniards, which it makes Spain more than a middle-sized country in Europe. We are the 9th industrial power in the world, the 9th. We are the 8th contributor to the budget of the United Nations, and we pay fully, promptly, and without condition. We are a parliamentary democracy. We have a king, as you know, and we have a parliament of 2 houses, and now the party in office is the center-right party. Mr. Aznar is the Prime Minister, and he has a comfortable majority. We are members, as I said, of the European Union. We're having the presidency now, and we are a member of NATO and a loyal ally of the United States, a very loyal ally of the United States, with this government and with the socialist government. The socialist government has another ideas about the model of society, but about our commitment to the West and to democracy. They have the same idea and the same fairness as this government. And we have an agreement with the United States where the Americans have very large facilities in Spanish bases, in Spanish territory. I could say that, for example, the Gulf War could have been fought the way it was without using our territory to fight it. We are, Spain is the most, or not the most because France goes first this year, but we are going to overcome it. Spain is the second most visited country in the world after France and before the United States. That means that we have the second largest tourist population coming to Spain. Last year, in 2001, we have 50 million tourists, which makes an important part of our income. Spain is I would say, a very modern now. People think that Spain is an old-fashioned society, nothing farther from the truth. It's, even for my standard, too modern sometimes. It's a fun-loving country, a fish-loving country. We are the second eaters of fish in the world, and a soccer-loving country. This idea that bullfighting is the thing in Spain is not true at all. Bullfighting is something that a lot of Spaniards like, but it's not followed, not at all, with the passion as soccer is followed. Spaniards are those now who have less children in Europe, another abrupt change with the past. When I was young, Spain has the highest fertility rate in Europe, and now we have the lowest in Europe. We have a very long life expectancy, 75 years the ladies and 78 years the male. I suppose that this is because of the Mediterranean diet, and especially also because of our olive oil, which is Spanish, though the Italians take it, they put it in the bottles, and they export it. They export it to the United States, but it's ours.